remembered my dreams from a very young age. Before I think I even knew what I was remembering, I would just have these adventures. I'd wake up in the morning and I would just remember these amazing things that had happened to me. And I always felt, I never was afraid of it. I always felt a lot of comfort in the messages that were coming in the dreams. And I always just appreciated what I call the dream landscape because it's so vast and so different and so varied. And I also rarely traveled alone because I always had angels with me or dream guides. And now we're going to talk about dream guides, but they're wonderful allies to have with us. And the other thing I remember, even from a young age, was that whatever was happening in the dream space, it felt as real as what was happening in my waking daily life. And I just always thought that was really the coolest thing. But a profound thing that happened for me, I was in junior high school. I'm from Anchorage, Alaska, so I was growing up in Anchorage, Alaska. And my grandmother lived in Baltimore, Maryland, which is quite, a distance from Alaska. And she had a stroke, and she crossed over to the other side. And in my first sort of major precognitive experience, I remember the phone rang. I remember what I was doing, what I was wearing. The phone rang, and before we answered it, I knew that the call was not good news, that it was sad news, and it was about my grandmother, Louise. And there was really no reason for me to know that they were going to call or that she had been sick or any of that. We had no notice of any issues or problems. And of course, this was a difficult time for our family, particularly my mother, because she was very close to my grandmother. She was an only child. And indeed, my grandmother had the stroke and crossed over to the other side. So the next occurrence, which was really extraordinary to me, was that the first of many visitations I would be granted in my life. But not long after my grandmother's, I call graduation, when someone dies, I say they graduated over to the other side. I feel like they've learned everything that they had to learn here on the earth plane, and now they're graduating over to this amazing, incredible, beautiful place. And I went to sleep one night, and in my dreams came my grandmother and an angel into the dream space. And the two of them delivered many messages to me to pass on to my mother. And I remember waking up the next day and kind of excited about it. And then I was like, ooh, what does my mother want to hear these messages? Are they going to make sense to her? Is she going to think I'm crazy? You just never know. And it turns out I had no reason at all to worry or be skeptical because my mother was delighted to hear these personal communications from my grandmother. And so I just remember to this day just how grateful my mother was to get this information and this sort of blissful feeling of understanding that I had a purpose and that I could be of service to others. And so since then, I get messages from all sorts of people, right? In my dreams. I've delivered some to you. And the guides and angels come in my dreams and they give me messages for people. And then I'm delighted to pass them on. And my mother is funny because my mother, I love her dearly, but she's kind of fear-based. She's very open to what I'm doing, and my whole family is. I think over time, they just said, okay, we're going to take this ride with you. But she was funny. She said, it skips generations because your grandmother was like you. She could get messages in dreams, and she would talk to dead people, but they don't come to me because they know if they come to me, I might have a heart attack. So they skipped over me, and they come to you. So the joke in our family. But, so that was really, and even at a young age, I just remember feeling so grateful and blissful and just knowing that, working with dreams is something that I was really going to do. And when I moved to Connecticut, made some amazing connections and delved in, and then have been I've been here 18 years now. I've been very, very much involved in dreams and just the power that they have to help us heal and get information and just have fun. And, and it's something everybody can do and that everybody does do. And as we said earlier, some people think that they've never dreamed before, but they have, and nothing gives me more pleasure than helping people figure out how to remember those dreams and how to go back into those dreams and to really have a great adventure in the dreamscape.